AnimeSecrets.org, the answer to all your burning questions.
And hello, everybody. Welcome back to Anime Secrets E3 podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Sony. My name's Nikki, aka Awkward Cosplay Girl, on legitimately everything, and I'm joined by...
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Anthony Davis, also known as Green Boy on Twitter, and I'm also joined by...
Hello, guys. Patrick here. You can find me on YouTube at Ketchup Blogs, and we are also with...
Hey guys, Rizwan here, also known as CMD Drake on Twitter and Instagram, and your lovely commander of Anime Secrets, and I am joined by...
Hi, my name is Ellie. I'm also known as Zabariel. You can pretty much Google that and find me like most places. And I'm joined by...
Yo, my name's Miguel. You can find me over at twitch.tv/jeng411, and I'm joined by...
Alright, guys, y'all know what time it is. It's your boy, Ronald Budsy, a.k.a. the Green Terrier, a.k.a. the American Sniper, a.k.a. Young Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, a.k.a.
Hey, you only had two. You only had two.
Wait. He amended it to 3.
Let's get it.
Were any of those English?
I don't know what it is. We just accept it.
It's better to accept it than to argue it.
Yeah. It'll go away sooner or later.
I think the best part is we all started talking over it.
We were like, we said 2! This is 3! Stop!
Well, in his defense, Riz did amend it to 3.
I did.
Yeah, and 3's
I missed
not
that.
enough. Well, 3's the basics.
Alright, moving on. Sony.
Anyway.
Sony.
Sony.
That was impressive.
Sony, once again, you've outdone yourself in ways that we can't even begin to possibly fathom and explain in a simple podcast.
I can explain it in a simple podcast. Norman Reedus' butt.
The highlights would
And
go...
we're done. Night, everybody.
RE7, Norman Reedus' ass.
That's all I need.
The Last Guardian finally has a date.
You know, I'm still not going to believe that game's coming out until I have physically put it into my PS4 and loaded it up. And even then, I'm expecting it to say, thank you for your contribution. There is no game here. Goodbye.
Coming soon. TM.
It's gonna go through like a 2-year update before you can play it.
But no,
Almost expecting that, though. Sadly.
It's just
but the fact that it actually has a release date now, so people can stop speculating that it'll get delayed again, or it'll get canned again. It feels nice. So here's hoping Team Echo knocks it out of the park again, and they deliver another fantastic game.
Heck yeah.
So I know we mentioned this in the chat a couple times before we got into podcast, but I feel like God of War looked more like Skyrim.
Yeah, I was like, man, is this a Skyrim remastered? Because look at all that snow. It's real pretty.
Because, like, when we think of God of War, what do you think of? Overhead view, mash buttons, body parts flying everywhere. This was really, like, Dark Souls.
Subtle.
Yeah, it was very subtle for... like, he was just carrying around an axe and threw it at people.
From what I was seeing in comment sections, like, I personally don't know much on Gears of War, but...
It's God of War.
God of War. Oh my gosh. But I saw some comments saying how apparently the reason why they're doing this, like people are speculating they're doing kind of a soft reboot with the series because apparently the 3 God of War games that are already done, they pretty much covered all the story that they could do. So, like, if they did a 4th one, then what could they do to advance the story?
Well, they could have. They could have had a new protagonist. Could have.
Weren't they jumping to Norse mythology? Is that what I read?
Yeah.
It's Norse mythology.
That was totally a frost giant that he killed.
It was a frost giant. Holy crap.
Yeah, so...
And I'd like to comment that the kid's name, even though it wasn't said in the trailer, but GameSpot's website has him listed as Charlie.
Then...
So obviously we all made Charlie the Unicorn references.
Charlie and the Rainbow Bridge.
Because we're all adults here.
I was going to say, though, it does kind of make sense that it is a bit of a soft reboot because there's only so many things in the Greek pantheon that you could kill off before you run out. And I'm pretty sure they ran out of everything by the end of number 3.
Yeah, but that still doesn't explain the gameplay style change. Like, I wonder what brought that up. This is even the same studio working on it?
I believe so. The guy
if it is, and that
Santa Monica, like the guy was wearing the shirt and everything.
That brings up questions as to why they changed the style.
Well, I mean, this was just an introductory thing, and they kind of hinted at to the original gameplay with as he's taking down the frost giant, so the kid could to shoot it and ends up hitting Kratos instead. But they sort of alluded to that as he's like has his hands together and he's like trying to muster up the energy to leap this guy.
Yeah, but I mean, like to the extent of the old games. Because the old games were like over the top brutal. This looks like it's going to be a little bit more one-on-one combat style, which
it did seem a bit more tame.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an introductory because this looks like this is like the very first portion of the game where you are being introduced to the world. So it's surprising that they're not showing off like the complete capabilities if this is a game, like since this was a live game demo. So I wouldn't be surprised if, this was what they had finished enough to showcase. Plus they're also kind of teasing it. And I mean, I'm kind of curious how long they're going to have Charlie there to act as a support unit, I guess.
It looked like very early game footage.
I mean,
like it was designed specifically to show off at E3.
I mean, I feel like that they could have shown off what they showed and maybe show like some real short clips of what the core game is going to look like. At least, like.
I'm pretty sure they're not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
Because this looks like it's just to get a little taste, so you might be like, no, that's not bad. I kind of want some I think I'm on a full plate of that, and then they'll be like, here you go, bam.
There's over stuff you like. Oh.
I would very liken it to the Zelda E3 demo from a few years ago on the Wii U.
Yeah, where they just showed the running across the field and everything. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like I think that's all it was for. It's a technical demo because it looked very fair, and they're gonna put a lot more things in there. They fought what, like a grand total of like 5 enemies.
Yeah, I think it was like three or 4 of the other, I guess, trolls maybe, and then the giant.
Yeah. So
6 if you can count the elk, but that wasn't. That doesn't really count.
And that's going to be some good jerky right there.
Oh my God. You whiz.
But all in all, it does. Yeah, I think it might be. Kratos is old now, and he's like, yeah, I killed an entire friggin' pantheon.
Maybe that kid's,
it's time to relax.
Maybe that kid's gonna be the new protagonist.
Maybe. They might end up switching it off with between Kratos and Charlie. But I mean, it's kind of weird having a protagonist named Charlie after having Kratos. I'm sorry, I still can't get over that name.
It's like you want to talk. It's like Ronald. You want to talk about basic? That's basic.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Fear him.
Charlie in the bloody factory.
Yeah, we should make
the name of my dog.
I mean, you knew you were in for a heck of a show if that's what they were opening with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a heck of an opening.
Weird seeing Kratos for the weird though.
Right.
It doesn't work for him.
I thought he's a god. Like, don't.
Yeah.
He became a god at the end of 1. Then he got his godhood stolen in 2. And I forgot what he did in 3.
Did he lose those blades in 3? Because
I thought he killed him.
Yeah, now he has that hatchet.
Yeah.
And maybe he retired the blades.
You can't retire the blades. There's some things you just can't retire.
Yeah, I
think I know where they went. He gave him the Shovel Knight.
Oh, okay.
Forgot about that.
Oh, all right. I guess. Sure, buddy.
I mean,
That's not canon.
Shovel Knight. He can use those. So.
Here, buddy. You need these more than me.
Yeah. Got a shovel. Take these.
just take it, man. Just take it.
It's dangerous out there. Take these.
Take these.
Like, just take it. Just take it.
So, Last Guardian definitely looks really pretty. I'm glad that they're putting more work into that. And let's see. Trying to remember some of the other ones.
Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot.
When I heard the sound, for that, I was just like, are they coming out with another one? Oh my god, I love Crash Bandicoot. Maybe they won't kill them. And you see, hold on. I was just like, oh, maybe they won't kill him off like Spyro. And then they're like, yeah, we're gonna remake this. I'm like, yeah, okay, I can deal with remakes. And then there's just like Skylanders, and I'm like, no. And then they showed him, and I was like, no.
They did the exact same thing they did with Spyro to Crash.
To me, the part that got me the most is they're like, but before you see him in this, you'll see him first on the PS4. And I'm like, oh, maybe another title in Skylanders. And I'm like,
It's funny because there's a couple friends of mine that were talking about this on Facebook a couple days ago. They were like, I swear to God, if I see Crash Bandicoot and Skylanders, we're going to revolt. And then as soon as they announced that, they started, it was an all caps thread.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy. I mean, not even that, but his redesign looks awful.
He does. Oh my goodness! I thought Spyro's is still bad. Still worse than Crash. But Crash is coming close.
It's not as bad as that god awful Conquer redesign that made him look like Bubsy that we saw a couple months ago. That was disgusting. But I mean, yay, they acknowledge him, but not like this.
Not like this.
Oh, I didn't ask for this.
Nobody asked for that.
I mean, Spyro looks like a gecko.
Not even that. He looks like a truck hit him in the face.
I can
poor
fly.
Spyro.
Oh, man.
I love Spyro as a kid.
Looks like
He make me cry.
I have Spyro on my PS3. It was great.
I think it's.
Bro, Crash Team Racing. I swear, Crash Team Racing is so underrated as a racing game.
Kart game.
That game, I say to this date, Crash Team Racing is one of, if not the best, non-realistic racing games.
Yeah.
Well, it also had a storyline to it, so it was just like one of the best.
Yeah, it was so much fun, and the way it played was so great.
I'll take your word for it. Usually racing games were like the sign that this franchise has died now. Like the racing games was the graveyard. I mean, it happened to Jack and Daxter too.
I know what you mean, but trust me, Crash Team Racing was...
That's actually what got me into Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Was the racing
same
game.
Here. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Me and my college buddies still play that game. Like, someone will bring their PS3, we'll hook it up to a TV in one of the buildings on campus, and we'll just play the crap out of it. That's how good it is. We will move our console from dorms to campus to play this. So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So,
and I also had Crash Bash, which it wasn't as fun, but it was fun to mess around with. Like doing the stuff that you're not supposed to do. That was the fun part of it.
oh my gosh.
So we've got
RIP Crash.
Horizon Zero Dawn, which looked amazing. I was a little iffy on like the first trailer, like when they first showed off the game, but I think I might actually get this if I ever get a PS4.
It looks like it has a lot of potential.
Really, oh, like I'm real hoping that it's got a lot of story lore to it. Like, I mean, they kind of hinted because they hinted to it at like the end of the gameplay trailer. And so I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping because it does, as you said, got a lot of potential, and also redhead protagonist. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
The thing I like about it is how open it looks. Like it looks like it's got a very. You can do any kind of play style you want to based off of how you like playing it, and it won't punish you for it. Type of things.
Yeah. I actually kind of like the weapon selection that they had, and it seemed, and I also liked how you could how she said that you could override the animal. So that looks like it has a lot of fun potential to mess around with and find unique strategies.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a game to keep your eye on over the next couple months.
I just like the lore, the simple lore that they set up here.
Yeah.
Where it's like a machine. Like machine animals out there, and you're like hunting them.
And you have
cool.
special abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
I like how when they actually ran into buildings, they fell down. Like, it was one of my peeves when playing through Skyrim. A dragon would just crash on top of a wooden house. Nothing would happen to it. Like, the thing was indestructible, but in the gameplay trailer they showed today, like, you saw the houses that they were running into just getting destroyed.
Yeah, so you can feel the impact. That was atmosphere is very important in a game like that, and they're selling it.
Yeah, I know that this game is supposed to be like a post-apocalyptic game, and it's so refreshing to have a post-apocalyptic game where one, the people aren't stupid, and two, really. They're taking advantage of the technology. 3, it's lively.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing I really hate about post-apocalyptic games is they always look so friggin' dead.
And 4.
Well, it's funny because that's a good point because it's usually like it's always cloudy. It's always like a destroyed city, but this is like a giant grassy field with a bright blue sky.
I know, I love it. And Nikki, 4?
And 4.
Female protagonist.
Yes. Yes. Hands down. And she's a redhead. That's like I said before, she's a redhead. Got props for that. For that.
That moves her from a 7 to a 10 in my book.
Yeah.
This guy gets it.
I know my weaknesses.
At least you accept it.
Oh, why would I deny it?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, actually.
The thing is, it's just really nice and refreshing to see something that I can actually more relate to.
On top of that, she's not sexualized, which is fantastic. Like, I would cosplay her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I can relate with her, like, as an actual human being, rather than, like,
actual armor,
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's just a good point of the game.
Cloth bra and skirt, heavy armor.
And heels.
Screw that crap.
Or you can take the Bayonetta route and just have hair.
Well, she's meant to be sexualized. That was actually the point.
Yeah, like
that
was her entire concept from the very, very beginning. Between the concept artist that drew her and which was a chick, by the way. I can't remember her name. And
Hideki Kamiya.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure if a chick drew this and she was like, "Okay, this is exactly what I was going for."
That doesn't.
The issue.
No. The only guidelines that was given to her for Bayonetta's design, just make her wear glasses.
Yep.
Well, she wears glasses.
Yes.
And I mean, like, basically, the woman artist who drew her was just like, I find this sexy. Like, she drew what she found sexy. Which
she
is
did a good job.
She did a good job.
And then they improved it in Bayonetta 2.
Let's go. A+. She is very A+.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help. it doesn't help that it doesn't really. It doesn't help that it contributes to the sexualization of women in video games, but that was her intended purpose. Like she was supposed to be sexy from the first, like from the forefront. Whereas all these other female either they're protagonists or side characters, like their character is secondary to their sexiness. Like they're supposed to be something to them.
That reminds me,
but they really
Scarlet
don't.
From what was that game called again? The zombie game with the chainsaw cheerleader girl. That's a perfect example of your point, because that
Lollipop
game
Chainsaw.
I never played it, but it was really basic.
Well, the difference between that and Bayonetta is really freaking good.
Yeah.
Like, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's just nice to see like a real. Like what I say, like a real female in an actual game that you can actually play as and get to like basically feel her, and as a female, and I'm sure Ellie feels the same thing too. As a female, we never got like. I know I spent like 13 years playing video games, and I was always told, "Well, you're never gonna have a video game thing because girls are just not." In it, and I'm like, okay, but we are.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Now seeing
Lara Croft didn't do it.
But
Lara Croft didn't do it for you.
Warcraft?
Lara Croft.
Oh, Lara Croft.
Not really, because
she wasn't made for us.
Heavily. Yeah, she was also like heavily sexualized.
Yeah.
And that the hilarious scene was it was an accident for her boobs to be that big, but she was still not made for us.
Yeah. Seeing that I was like the thing is, Samus was like a girl, but none of us knew she was a girl.
Yeah, that's true.
And when she was revealed to be a girl at the very end, she was basically in a friggin' bikini. So
yeah, so
again, not made for us.
Amount of time. All I got was her taking off her helmet.
Not to mention, like what her treatment in Smash and like her Zero suit, which makes zero sense. But anyway, like it's really nice to see something that's not sexualized and something that I can enjoy and just be a girl in.
Yes,
like
definitely.
Recore, like that's why like I'm really hyped for Recore. Is like it's the same thing. It's a girl.
Yeah.
So, and let's see, there's still Final Fantasy 15 coming to VR.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's like a side game for Final Fantasy 15 and not part of the main one.
Can I just go on a bit of a tangent on the VR stuff?
We did
that already.
We did it on the Xbox one.
Okay.
But we have to discuss it because Sony spent a very large amount of time.
Yeah, they spent more time on it than Microsoft did.
I mean, like when I heard that they're putting it on for Final Fantasy 15, I'm like, why? Come on now.
It honestly looked like the demo. It honestly looked like the demo that they had released with the exception of the Chocobo, that they had released for the PS4 with the Final Fantasy. It's the game that nobody really cared for. That was the port from the PSP to the PS4 zero something. The one with the kids.
You mean the one that everybody got for the demo?
Just for the demo? Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. It's pretty sad that I can't remember the name.
I don't blame you because I don't either.
kind of tells you the priority of that game. But it honestly looked a lot like the demo with the Chocobo where you followed through. So I think it just might be fairly short. It doesn't look like it's going to take all of like the PlayStation 4 story. No. But they did say the full VR game was going to be the Resident Evil 7.
That one is being developed for both.
Yeah. But I mean, they said that from start to finish, you'd be able to do VR. Whereas, like all the other like for the Final Fantasy 15 VR, that doesn't look like it. Looks like it to be a much smaller scale game.
No, that's just like a side game. Where Resident Evil 7 looks to be being released for both. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a demo out for it right now. which, as of this recording, hasn't been released in the U.S.
Well, that's why I said it wasn't. It's not a V. That's why I didn't say it was a VR exclusive, because I mean, they said that it was for PS4, and then they said that for VR that you'd be able to play it start from finish, because most of these VR games are just going to be like sample or DLC, like Battlefront with the X-Wing.
Speaking of disappointments.
But can I just say, though, about the Resident Evil game is that it's really nice to see it actually go back to its horror roots instead of the action shooter thing that it's turned into.
And just having
I kind of squirmed with that. Rich was crawling on his hand. I was just like, no.
I actually thought it was Kojima's game where he was going to try to do PT but not do PT. That's what I thought it was at first.
I thought it was PT also. Like that.
Oh, you mean not PT? Silent Hills.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but it wasn't going to be that. It was he just took it, redid it, and brought it out. That's what I thought it was.
No, I feel like that's actually what he did.
What's PT?
Because it even has Norman Reedus in it.
Oh, that's right. He was going to be in that game, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in Silent Hills.
He was like in the last part of it, like right when he like finished the demo.
He was like the teaser for it, basically.
Yeah, when you'd walk out of the house and he'd finally turn around and you saw his face.
Bless you.
So like I really feel like it's just they rebranded Silent Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they kind of had to, but
they had to. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because I really want that game. Like I was so hyped for it. It's just we have to say what it actually is.
Yeah. So Detroit Become Human. That one was the Android negotiator guy.
I have so many questions about that.
You remember those old kids books where it's like, if you do this, turn
Choose
to page
your own
42?
adventure.
Yeah. One of those things. That's what it was.
I love those.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised with how many endings that they showed, like how many options that you can go through and showing the different various endings. I was like, I know that for Mass Effect and basically all of Bethesda games, like that, like as a designer, to do that many endings, like just 3 alone, and trying to get that is hard work trying to keep together. The coding that they had to do for that game must be insane.
Yeah,
well, I'm curious as to how long the game is going to be exactly. If they're going to have like
that many options.
Yeah,
and that was just like one section.
Are they going to have like really like one sitting playthroughs, or there's going to be like 20, 30, or are they going to have like what's the deal here?
It really depends, because David Cage games aren't really known for their lengths. Like, I believe Beyond Two Souls was maybe no more than 8 hours long. And that's where I was, like, a little bit indifferent towards Detroit. Because I've been burned too many times by his games where I'm like, this really wasn't enjoyable.
Is it gonna be, like, 10, like, 6-hour playthroughs, or is it gonna be, like, 25 or something that would go for about 10 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
10 or 12 hours. Who knows?
But
point. Yeah.
It does look really good. Like, the graphics look phenomenal. So it's definitely something to keep a lookout for. And really, I mean, if they have that many sections for so many endings for that one section on the rooftop, you know, you can imagine what other situations they can come up with.
That could definitely add to playtime hours. So, which is interesting. Next one is Call of Duty. Infinite Warfare.
Fun story about that one.
It just needs to end, please.
I was watching the conference, and I was like, damn, this is a really cool trailer. What is this game? And I asked these guys, and they're like, oh, it's Call of Duty. I'm like, god damn it, I'm done. Bye.
Well, granted, you also did that with South Park, so...
Yeah, well, South Park.
You did you? I missed that one.
That one was the funniest one to me. Because he was like so hyped up about this game. And then he was like, it's South Park.
Oh, look, you can change your gender through the abortion clinic.
It's South Park, don't question it.
I'm not kidding on that, by the way.
I know, it doesn't surprise me. It's South Park.
I was going to say, technically you don't, You still remain a male, you just cross-dress.
Yeah.
Yep, that sounds par for you.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
That looked good. I like the little jabs they were throwing at the big two. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
The gameplay definitely looked really pretty. I wonder if it's as smooth as they had shown with how they did everything. Like planting the bombs and then waiting for them to go off. And yeah, again, I'm more curious with how smooth everything's going to play out. Because that was like way too smooth of a gameplay.
Yeah, it looked like that was just filmed. So I don't think they had anybody actually playing that like they did a couple other things on stage.
Yeah.
I don't trust stage gameplay anymore ever since Ubisoft. Remember what we were supposed to get with Watch Dogs?
Speaking of Watch Dogs, that was a trailer that played.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But it wasn't. It was more for like Ubisoft, so we get that one. Days Gone, Zombies, the video game, and Hordes.
So, funny thing about the developer, someone had mentioned Bubsy earlier. They are the remnants of Bubsy's 3D's developer.
Wait, they're still around?
Yep, and they're making Days Gone.
Well, that's definitely an improvement over Bubsy 3D.
So, while it looks good, their spotty history, we'll see how good they can actually make it.
You can't go any further down after Bubsy 3D, so...
Man. Yeah, that... Yeah?
Oh, continue.
I was going to say, it didn't look bad, but it's just like everything they had shown before that just looked a lot better. That this just really can live up to the hype that Sony had done up to that point, really.
Yeah, I don't know who it was I was talking to in the chat about when we were watching it, but I was like, more zombie stuff.
That was me.
That was you, yeah. I was like, I'm tired of seeing zombies on everything.
If it was released like maybe 2 years later, it might be okay because we wouldn't have been so saturated with so many zombie games. Like, oh my god! Not to mention that it looks almost like the way it's set up is almost like Last of Us. Like it screams Last of Us. And we already had a Last of Us. We don't need another one, because it's Last of Us. It's one.
The Last of Us to ever be made.
But I was gonna say we could have said that with Final Fantasy, in my opinion.
Yeah. Lots of opinions on that.
Which one are you talking about?
I'm just saying with the name.
Well, see, there's a funny history to the name because that was going...
No, I know what the history is behind the name. I'm just saying...
I mean, for the people who are listening who don't know, I mean, the name is basically because they thought their company was going to go under and this was going to be their last game, so they called it Final Fantasy because they were like, alright, and then all of a sudden their company, went through the friggin' roof because of the sales from this game. They're like, okay, I guess we're going to continue on this. We can't change the name. We screwed the pooch on this.
This'll be Final Fantasy.
Don't you love when the titles are a lie?
Oh, it made money? Shoot. Alright, this'll be the Final Fantasy.
Exactly.
I mean, technically...
I feel like it's almost a cash cow at this point.
It is.
But,
it is.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing because I'm also saying Halo's a cash cow, but
Assassin's Creed.
I really
I
wish that they would spread out their Final Fantasy games and give us more Dragon Quest because that's the real champion of those games. I know that Square is still salty over Enix because those games are so much better.
Well, to be fair, we haven't had a real mainline Final Fantasy since 13, and that's
we don't talk about
8
that
years
game.
ago, and that's 8 years ago now.
I was gonna say I love Children of Mana and stuff.
Oh, those are good.
So I'd rather more creative to see something not Final Fantasy from them,
Yeah, no, I agree. I wish that they would release more of their like other IPs or continue like making new IPs. But I mean,
I would like to see them remake Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I want that. Like, if they made that and like if they announced that, hey, guess what? You know what? We're gonna remaster this, like Legend of Dragoon remastered. Give us all your money. I'd buy it. I would kill somebody. I would kill somebody, rob a bank, buy a PS4, and
let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Maybe. I don't know why I would rob a bank rather than a GameStop for a PS4, but there you are.
I just want a new Chrono Trigger.
You're never gonna get it.
Yeah, good luck with that.
They gave you the DS one. I think that's all we can hope for. We're never gonna get like Chrono Break at all. I'm also salty about that.
Can they at least erase
and Radical
Chrono
Dreamers?
Cross
We're not
from...
getting that one either.
Can they at least make Chrono Cross not canon?
No, it's as far as I know still canon. Fuck, like,
nah.
I'm gonna stop myself right here and tell you to go jump off a cliff because I love Chrono Cross.
I hated what they did to Chrono and the gang in Chrono Cross. I'm like, ow, this is sad.
They didn't do anything to them. They're just not in the game.
Oh no, they're dead.
Yeah, they're dead because time goes on.
And then they get
also,
invaded.
they were murdered. Like, I mean, Luca was murdered, but
if I could turn back time, I feel like that's Patrick right now.
But if it's any condolences, they'll always live on in your heart.
If I could find a way.
But
anyways,
wow.
So zombies, they suck.
Yeah,
tired of them.
Can we just have like aliens or some other thing we can destroy now?
Yeah,
to the
I'd
game's
rather...
credit though, how many they fit on screen was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is true. I just thought the guy was pretty much an idiot for just standing there while a horde is attacking him and trapping himself on like a little tiny platform with all of them hounding him. It's just like, good job.
I like how he just abandoned his bike for no reason.
Yeah, like
he abandoned his bike to keep walking forward.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Like
same.
you have a finite amount of ammo, and there is a massive horde right here that you just saw, and you're still gonna go after this guy who's probably gonna run into them just so you can kill him. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Maybe he ran out of gas on his bike. We don't know.
I don't know. The devil made it clear that he had an infinite amount of ammo.
Yeah, that makes it questionable. Like I can't really immerse myself. Like this doesn't seem to be a problem for this guy because he just keeps reloading and reloading and reloading and reloading. So,
I was impressed. I'm like, holy crap! Where do you keep all of it?
Up his butt.
Probably.
The only viable option.
This is the only explanation. We don't have any other evidence.
You know, I can't argue with that.
Right, exactly.
I mean, but you're
there is Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, that.
All right. Everyone, stop talking. Let Patrick just have the floor.
Patrick.
No, actually, this game was rumored about 2 months ago, and I was actually not sure if it was going to come out because Marvel's been really strict with their video game licenses ever since Activision lost the stuff a couple of years ago. Because they've been pulling DLC off the marketplaces for both consoles over the last couple of years and everything, and I was actually wondering if they're going to make this, but yeah, we got it. It looks really good. Who is it? Insomnia is doing
Insomniac.
Insomniac.
I mean, Insomniac is a trustworthy developer.
Yeah, they're a really good developer.
They've shown that they can make games in an open world fairly well, and that's what you need for Spidey. So, the costume design is a bit weird.
Yeah.
That's why does he have a giant white spider on his red blue?
I think the change in the costume is probably because of all the licensing. Because that's why I believe why the Avengers one had changed as well. Because the designs for each superhero, they have a they're copyrighted basically, and they each have their own licenses, which have been sold to individual people. So they have to keep creating new ones every time they create something new.
But that's not the problem with the games, though.
Well,
they could
no, it still follows. It still follows
like comic Spider-Man.
I was gonna say the new Spider-Man in Civil War was the Spider-Man I grew up with, and this one is kind of based off of two different Spider-Man costumes. So I completely understand why they did this.
But I don't really mind the costume.
That's just me.
I don't mind. I'm not gonna make a big fuss over it because Spider-Man games, ever since Ultimate Spider-Man back on the GameCube and PS2 and whatnot, have had a slew of alternate costumes that you can just have. Like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 had about 20 costumes.
Yeah.
Throughout his history, and he's got a ton. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. I know everybody's already complaining about it, but you'll have costumes you can pick from. So no big deal. Yeah. I'm just mad that they didn't show more, because what we saw in the trailers, it looked good. The animations looked really fluid. The mobility options that they gave him looked really good. The combat, I'm wondering if they're going to do what Beanox did with the two Amazing Spider-Man games and try to do the Arkham free flow combat system with him again, because I feel like that's how Spider-Man should fight, but he doesn't have all the gadgets and stuff that Batman has, so it would be pretty basic. So I don't know what they're going to do.
To be honest, Spidey does have a decent amount of arsenal.
Well,
and you can just replace the grappling hook with the web.
Yeah, he has to do web-based combat, which if they can add we grab somebody and web rodeos them around, throw them away or something like that.
They kind of did show that he did something like that. He on the car he had stickied somebody and they just went by.
Yeah. So
another thing is, in the gameplay trailer, it seems a lot like they're using the same combat system and free running thing that basically Assassin's Creed Unity did, to me at least.
Mm-hmm. Any way to keep him moving. Well, I'm excited for this, of course.
I mean, to me, it looked like very early footage still as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things I took away from Sony's press conference overall, is a lot of it are working titles still.
Yeah.
And to a few years ago when they had that phenomenal conference where they showed Uncharted 4, Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15, so on and so forth. Out of all those games that they shown, only one's been released since. We're getting closer to 15, but Uncharted 4 only came out 2 months ago.
Uncharted 4 was in development for 18 years. That game.
A while.
Good grief.
And where's Kingdom Hearts 3?
I was seeing trailers.
We'll find out at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2.8, the final chapter mix plus.
Coming out for the PlayStation 9 in 2038. Look forward to it.
I can't think of any other game series with this much trouble getting their next sequel out.
One thing that did shock me about this conference was that they didn't make mention of Kingdom Hearts.
That did surprise me.
They made no mention of Persona 5.
It's probably because.
Good.
It's probably because, something I've noticed, because you brought it up, is a lot of their stuff, if it's coming out soon or something, they're not bringing it up. It's more of a hype type thing, where they just show their working titles to get people let's do this. Yeah, let's jump on it. And then, it almost shows no results.
Right, but you have Kingdom Hearts. That's your hype bringer.
I mean, they've had to. And the fact that we've had to wait for so long for a third sequel.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, I know. I'm part of the Kingdom Hearts 20 games later, you finally get 3.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And on top of that, we're gonna convolute it even more with one more off onto the side.
Exactly.
I was surprised they had 2.8 or 2.9 or whatever you just said.
It's 2.8, and that one is supposed to come
out. They're gonna come out with a Kingdom Hearts 2.9995 before we get it.
I want to know where the heck they got that 2.8. Like, seriously.
Right.
Like, the 2.5 sure made sense. But
well, let's be honest. They released one called 358 by 2, so.
We don't talk about that game. That game was terrible.
They don't talk about it either. That's why they just show cutscenes for it.
I need a map for Kingdom Hearts, I think, because there's too many games to keep track of now.
Oh my goodness. Like, it's a cluster. Yeah.
Cluster something.
Yeah, expletive deletive.
But no, I'm like shocked they didn't show off Kingdom Hearts and Persona 5. Like, that was a big one.
Yeah, Persona 5 especially, because they just announced that, like, what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, its release date
this would have been
is coming up in September.
That's what I'm saying. This would have been a great chance to show off something big for it.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do it. I'm
Surprisingly
kind of stunned.
They hate money. But they do like that VR.
Yeah.
They spend a fair amount of time hyping up the VR games that they're going to be releasing.
$300.
And
I'm
the
not
only
understanding. Sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
continue on with the VR.
Okay. Well, I'm not understanding why these companies are pushing the VR this much when it's recent technology. It's very new technology. I mean, I'd say they need to just put it out for like small titles first and see how people like those before they implement them on there.
No, that's why the Kinect bombed.
That's why the Kinect bombed. That's why the Wii U bombed, is because they didn't put any good titles out at the forefront. This is what they're doing. They did a smart move by saying, like, hey, look, Resident Evil 7 is going to be a full flat game that's going to be coming out to the VR. That's why, they're going to have, I hate to say it, Battlefront is still a AAA title. This is just as shitty as it is. They still have DLC for the VR. I mean, and then, there was several other VR games that they had released. I know that that Eagle Flight said that they were going to be for all major VR, so that one's going to also be coming for the PlayStation VR as well. So, there's going to be a lot of connectivity with the VR. They need to have that. And I said this in the last podcast, that there's two things that in order for the VR to be successful is they need to find a way to counteract the motion sickness that most people get with it, and second, they need to have the really big titles in order for it to survive, because that's what bit Nintendo in the butt with the release of the Wii U. It wasn't exactly an innovative device, but they also did not release any big titles with it.
And I also brought up the thing of the price of VR needs to go down.
Yeah, exactly. A bit. It needs to go down a lot.
It's like the Vive, which is pretty much the best VR option in my opinion, is $800. Because I've tried the Oculus and I've tried the Vive, and the Vive was 10 times better. I didn't get nearly as motion sick, if any at all. And it's $800 without shipping.
Ew.
So that thing needs to go down.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the major fault point for all of this is.
Price.
It's a little bit too innovative for the price, and I don't think many people will. Because, like I said, how much was the Kinect? $300.
Something.
$300.
Something stupid
That's a little
like that.
That's a little bit more reasonable in my opinion.
And that thing was. That thing had some serious lag. It read you go a whole 2 seconds off, but. Yeah, it's going to be kind of iffy when it comes out for both Microsoft and Sony. It's going to be very iffy, and I don't know if people are going to be willing to slap $300 down or how much the Microsoft one's going to be whenever it comes out, just to see if it works.
Not to mention, you also have to buy a new console with it.
Yeah.
You have to buy the new games with it. It's just add-on plus add-on plus add-on prices.
And now I have this question for the two companies. I want to know how long they had this in development and why they didn't build the Xbox One and PS4 in mind. Like, they have this in mind, so it could be compatible with these already.
I think during the time of development of the PS4 and the Xbox One, Oculus had not caught on in popularity. And by the time they came out, Oculus was the big thing. It was big enough that Facebook wanted to purchase them.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So they knew.
Was that really that long ago?
Oh yeah, it's been a while.
That was. I thought that was.
I was gonna say last E3 they talked about Minecraft in VR.
So here's an unpopular opinion. I think we're not ready for VR to be brought to video games yet.
I completely feel the same way.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
And here's why.
I agree with you.
It's not like, I know E3 this year's been trying to push that with both conferences so far. I don't know what Nintendo's gonna have tomorrow. If they'll have like a similar thing as well, because it all comes in threes. Where when you had the Muslim thing, they all had it around the same time within the same year. I'm wondering if they're gonna do that again with VR this time, but I don't think we're ready for VR yet for two reasons. One, like y'all said, the money, but two, it's not caught on yet as a thing. Like
that's
what I'm saying. That's
the biggest problem.
I'm going to disagree with you guys and saying that VR hasn't caught on, as there's still reports of people who pre-ordered their Oculuses from a while ago still have not received theirs, and that the Oculus Rift is out of stock. Granted, it may have been a problem with supply, but the fact that those things, which cost from like $500 to $600, sold out that quickly tells you people are ready for this.
Well, the thing is, a lot of those are actual businesses, not actual
they're not consumers.
They're not.
Oh no, the first people who received them were the people who donated to the Oculus Kickstarter, and there are people who donated enough that still haven't gotten theirs.
What's the reception for that thing? Is it?
But the thing is, they're not getting theirs because they're doing company management. Like a lot of their sales and stuff just go to companies. So
because for the average consumer, I mean, you have to take the economy into consideration. Had the economy not crashed, and if we actually really did get out of this recession, and if we pushed, more stuff, I'm not going to get into politics really in this. With the economy healthy, VR would have taken off extremely well because people could afford it. People can't afford this right now, so that's why I believe VR is not going to take off because it's too costly. It's too expensive, especially when you have to buy it for the two major consoles. Whether you're an Xbox or a PS4 person or both, you're gonna have to buy a brand new system just to play with the VR system, and that's just not cost effective. It's not consumer friendly whatsoever. That's corporate friendly.
And on top of that, I don't know if those two things are going to get as much game support as the actual one in PS4 are going to.
Exactly.
It really depends. If Sony is going to do the same thing with the VR as they did the Vita, it's not going to last. No. Because when you ignore a product that you have and decide to not support it or advertise it, market it, or release anything for it, it's going to die. And I really hope that Sony, with as much money as I assume that they have put into this product, I hope that they would take better care of the VR than they did the Vita.
I feel like I'm gonna say this. I feel like VR is actually gonna crash pretty soon. Because there's so much just negativity with it right now. It's so expensive. They still haven't worked out the kinks yet. And just everything that I think it's going to crash and burn within the next
disagree,
2 years. And then we're going to see it
negatives.
But then we're going to hear it get taken off. After 4 years. It's going to come back up. And then once they've worked out all the kinks in it, I feel like then it's going to be really popular.
Also, keep in mind, Sony had the PlayStation Move or whatever that thing was with the little wand.
That thing sucked.
They had
that died so quickly.
That and Kinect were only relevant for like 2 months.
Kinect failed hardcore. The Wii is the only thing that had like a motion
It did do
control
better.
thing.
It did do better than the PlayStation Move, though.
Well, that's only because engineers use the Xbox Kinects as like instruments to do measurements and 3D stuff.
Yeah.
So like, if we take that into account, that's like the only thing that the Kinect has better.
Case in point, Nikki's fiance and I have done some research on the Kinect for work.
And Ghost Hunters use it as ghost gear.
Wow.
Which is amazing.
Way to go, Microsoft.
Wow.
So,
Innovation.
Innovation.
these new things that they're not really innovations at this point. It's more like a gimmick to make themselves stand up for long enough.
That's actually what I was saying. I'm hoping this doesn't go down the motion control path that Nintendo with the Wii and the Move and the Kinect goes on. I would actually like for this to succeed, but
I don't see it doing it.
I mean, yeah,
At least not now.
Especially seeing how, like you said, the price. We don't know if there are going to be any games for it, and there's just a lot of ifs.
We're still motion the thing is, people are still getting sick from it. Like, people are still throwing up and stuff from it, from the motion,
like the motion sickness.
There's no way this is going to take off right now.
Like, because they still need to configure how, like, when you look around, like, alright, so I did the Global Game Jam back in February over at LSU, and one of the guys decided to do virtual beer pong, and I gotta say, that was a trip. It didn't help that your vision got blurred every time you missed the ball in the cup, but it was really uncomfortable looking through everything. So
do you know what headset you were using?
No, I think it was the Oculus.
It was the Oculus.
The Oculus.
I'm more than positive it was the Oculus.
The Oculus are known for the more motion sickness.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I didn't get motion sick, but it was just like I could see how it could easily get people to be motion sickness for this. I mean, people got sick by watching Cloverfield, so with a shaky camera.
Makes me wonder how they saw Hardcore Henry.
I heard people were complaining about it for that movie too.
I was gonna say, I'll explain it like this. The reason why Oculus and stuff bugged me so much is because I have one perfectly okay 20/20 eye, while the other one needs correction. Which it's really hard to do that if you're gonna do VR. Like, how do you like, you have to specifically tailor it, and I feel like it's almost like we need to perfect that technology before it takes off.
Yeah, because right now they're only making it for a niche market that can actually use it. Like, they wouldn't be able to, like, the whole populace wouldn't be able to use it to its full potential.
It's a niche market that these people have to be in. That they have to have the perfect health stuff, that they're not going to get sick from it. They have to be rich enough to actually get it.
And they have to be able to find a place that still sells it that isn't out of stock.
Exactly. They have to pay out the ass. Well, the Vive... No, I'm saying, like, the Vive is still in stock. Like, the Oculus is not the only VR instrument. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not. So, please stop. It's not. Okay?
I thought we were still on the Oculus.
No.
We're talking about
general VR.
I did not hear a lot of positive things about the Vive. Like, if there is one I've heard negative, it's that one.
Nope. I can promise you the Vive is 10 times better than the Oculus, and I know because I've used both of them.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. The Oculus.
Was that a hand snap? Was that hand snap?
No?
She just went all sassy black woman on us over here. In the Z motion with the snaps.
I love how y'all don't even see me, and yet you know exactly what I'm doing.
I heard it. I heard the finger snap.
Exposed.
Like, y'all don't see me, but I'm also doing, like, the swerve motion. Like, hold up. Like, honestly, the Oculus, like I said, the Oculus made me sick. The Vive didn't. But granted, the Vive has a lot more technology, and it's $800. Like, that's a niche market.
That is a pretty penny to pay.
Yeah, and not to mention how long it takes to set up. That doesn't include shipping. And then you have to go on and buy another console on top of that. And then you have to buy games for it. No, VR is not going to take off anytime soon with these prices, with this technology.
I haven't really studied much on this whole VR thing all that much, but wouldn't, quality and frames per second have a lot to do with this? Because wouldn't it be a lot more...
Yes and no, but... because your eyes can only see up to a certain amount of frames per second. Anything higher, you get disoriented.
I think it's only 60 frames per second that we actually be able to see.
Yeah, anything beyond 60 frames per second, you get those really weird soap opera things that you see on the televisions when you walk over to Target or something. How creepy and uncanny valley it gets. That's because it's at a higher frame per second than we can actually see.
Well, I'm thinking more if it were a game that ran at 30, wouldn't it really stand out? And kind of seeing how it might be a little bit jittery there, wouldn't that cause problems too? Or
maybe.
It depends on how your brain processes things.
Yeah.
Because it would be interesting if you could adjust the frames per second for whatever it is that you're seeing.
That would be a really interesting option to add to that.
But I would also imagine that that the VR system would be very sensitive to your head moving, because sometimes we do a lot of subtle movements, and that can make a very big difference to the VR. So, trying to do the programming to calculate, hey, just stay still for this subtle movement, might play a part into it.
I'm actually curious as to how long they've been working on this.
Quite a while.
They had to have, because they're Sony specifically, they're releasing it at the end of the year, so that means they had to have been working on this for quite a long time. So I don't know. I'm going to be following this, because this is actually probably one of the most interesting things that's ever been revealed at E3. Because this is new. This isn't just upgrading quality. This is trying to push
upgrade to double D's.
Mm-hmm.
If it bombs, this is gonna cause some problems, and if it succeeds, well, sweet. Here we go. We're moving forward with our lives.
To be honest, if it bombs, the worst thing that happens is they just don't continue any kind of VR-ness, and they just continue with more powerful consoles.
The thing is, they've already announced they're developing stuff for it. So by the time it bombs, then
they've already lost a good chunk of money from it too.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Because Nintendo kind of got away with the motion controls, Sony didn't do too good with it. Microsoft's attempt wasn't too good. That was because Nintendo had been working on that for a while. Yeah. Because Nintendo loves to innovate.
I know. They don't care. They can take the risk.
Yeah.
These other two companies, Microsoft and Sony, cannot take risks, and they're also afraid to. And they also piggybacked.
So you have to keep in mind the cost of the Wii, of producing the Wii, compared to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, was super cheap. Yeah. The Wii was just a souped-up GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But going back to what I was saying, if it bombs, it might cause problems, because, like you said, Nintendo can get away with this, but if this bombs and Microsoft and Sony look at this, is us trying to do anything innovative even going to be worth it anymore? Are they just going to stop? Because that would be 2 bombs.
Well, the thing is, they weren't innovative in the first place.
Yeah.
They're not, because VR's been around since before Microsoft and Sony were jumping on it, because Steam had it. Yep. Let's just talk about the motion controls. The Wii got it, and then Xbox and Sony were like, ooh, it's making good money. We want it. And that's what happened. Microsoft is not innovative. They're just looking at something that could make money and go we want this now. Thank you.
You know where I'm going with this, though.
No. That person, the little commenter was saying, hey, I made this, and the person said, you made this. They take the paper and they say, I made this. That's basically what both Microsoft and Sony has done.
That's exactly.
You know where I'm going with this. If they try something new,
Well,
and
the
it
thing
tanks for a second time, is this gonna be the end of it for them?
It really depends on who's in charge, because yes, it definitely has done that. I mean, why do you think we keep getting Call of Duty every year? Because why do you think we keep getting the same straight white male protagonist who has a scruffy beard, about in his 30s, and brown hair? Like, there is a reason why we just keep getting those same games. Like, it's just because they're afraid to take risks.
Well, I mean, when you're selling over $1 billion worth, do you really need to fix anything?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, these things are still businesses.
Because you could get more money.
Exactly. We'll point out the Skyrim thing. They could get more money doing Morrowind or Oblivion, but they're not.
I see. This is where I'm going to disagree, because comparing the sales of both of them, Skyrim was a lot more popular among a casual audience than Morrowind or Oblivion.
Yes.
So if you remake that,
no, it's because a lot of people got into that franchise with Skyrim. That was my entering of that franchise, because I never even knew those games existed until Skyrim, because it just blew up. Now I want to play the original ones, because now it's like...
and I'll be honest, that sentiment is probably in a small minority.
No, it is not. There's a good chunk of people who went from Skyrim, and they are like going into Morrowind and Oblivion. And are you kidding? The modding population is also grown for those communities. I mean, you're also you're not taking into account into the time that it has taken people to get into PC gaming, because gaming was usually considered a console thing. Now we've gotten into PCs. People are introduced to this. Hey, look at Skyrim. Isn't it pretty? Isn't it great? Oh, hey, this is really good. I want to take this. I want to explore more of this world. So you have Morrowind and Oblivion, but they're so outdated at this point. People didn't even really know about those games except for a very niche market. That market has now grown. They want to go back to it. And now, like, some of the computers can't even handle it unless you, like, go through, like, GOG or something.
And not to mention, like, half the people who joined in on Skyrim and actually started playing Oblivion and Morrowind have decided those are their favorite games instead of Skyrim. Like, I will completely say this, like, Skyrim on storyline and stuff, I don't like it nearly as much as I like Morrowind and Oblivion. But
Skyrim's story is shit.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Skyrim is almost essentially a fetch quest simulator.
So
no. It is a waifu simulator. Thank you.
That's Fire Emblem. Come on.
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Fire Emblem
Fire Emblem Waifu Wars.
Yeah.
That's literally what Fire Emblem's turned into.
I don't know. School Love Live School Idol Festival is the ultimate waifu. That is ultimate waifu simulator.
So, but yeah, I would have to ultimately disagree with, like, people are not interested in the other two just because Skyrim was their first game. That's like saying nobody should ever be allowed to play the remakes of Pokemon because their first game was like Alpha Omega, or I'm sorry, X and Y. So like they should not play any of the other games.
But here's the thing, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is when you're looking in terms of what game can we remake that will grab a large chunk of the audience, and you compare the three,
but
you go with the more
Skyrim
recognizable
has been out for several years. I mean,
and
like, people are...
there's nothing that needs to be remastered.
I mean, other than graphics.
Not really.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
there's a lot of games that don't need to be remastered.
But Oblivion and Morrowind could definitely see a facelift and an upgrade. Oh my goodness, they would, like, not only would they get it from like the already loyal community that Bethesda has for the Elder Scrolls with the remakes for Morrowind and Oblivion, but they could also get it with the new people who came in with Skyrim. Yes, it's nice that the consoles will be able to use mods now, and it's got a nice pretty facelift, but they took too long for it.
And, like, think about how they could even market that. They can go like, these were the games before Skyrim, why don't you check out these games too? Like, the thing is, they could market this in so many different ways. They could get so much more money than just doing remastered Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like, they really could, because so many people that have Skyrim would not pay extra money because it's just like, A, it doesn't really need a facelift. It's pretty as is. B, I have my mods.
My mods. All 1,000 of them.
My mods.
It's kind of like what they're doing with The Sims. Like, not a lot of people went from Sims 2 to Sims 3 because you already had your mods, you already had like everything you needed for it, and you really don't want to upgrade because it's just like, it's the same game until you get to like Sims 4. Like, it's really that same concept.
Yeah, I mean, they're not bringing anything new to the table, whereas Morrowind and Oblivion have been sitting there for, like, they've been chilling there for, like, God knows how long. Like, I mean, I think I picked that up while I was still in maybe middle school.
I was going to say at least 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like that could definitely bring some fresh new blood into, like, the Bethesda community. I know that there's still people who, like, came in and are, like, still modding for it for high texture resolutions for it. But if Bethesda did that, like, that's two birds for the price of one. Like, easily knocked that off. I don't really
trust Bethesda with modding well enough.
No, that's why the community is there.
Yeah.
That's why I'm also worried about the remastered. Are my mods going to conflict with this? Is it going to work with this?
I mean, to update all of them.
Well, the thing is, if you got it on PC, you're gonna get the update for free. So
it said if you have the game with all the add-ons. I don't have all the add-ons because I don't think I need, like, the Hearthfire or whatever it is.
That was the best one.
Oh,
you can build your own home.
That one was really good.
All right, I might pick it up whenever I get money, but.
You can build your own home, adopt a child, give them a dog.
There was already a mod for that. Like, that's why I didn't see it. Like, I didn't have to pay for that. Somebody made it for me.
You see, I got it whenever it was, like, super cheap, like for $1. So I was just like, yeah, buy all the mods for like $5. Why not? Like, I'm just extremely lucky with that stuff, so I'll admit that. But at the same time, like I said, they could have made so much more money. Because think about it, instead of giving free remastered Skyrim out to the PC players, they could go like, hey, why don't you buy new mastered Morrowind or new mastered Oblivion? And I'd be like, oh, fuck yeah.
Here's my wallet.
Here's my wallet. Like, take it.
Like you saw the reaction last year to the FF7 remake.
Hell yeah.
Remake, remaster. That blew up the internet. That's the kind of stuff we need. Like, and
then it blew it up even more with the fact that, yes, people had been asking for the 7 remake, but then they're like, yeah, it's going to be in 3 parts, full games, you have to pay full price. And it's like, oh, I see.
I don't think they're charging $60 per part.
Square's going to find a way to screw it up somewhere. They can't do something cleanly. They got to purposely mess it up somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, look, we gotta put a little bit of bullshit in it.
It's only 30 frames.
Oh my gosh.
Feel so bad for them. We're like ragging on them something hard.
Hey, it's okay. We ragged on Microsoft too. We're just ragging on everyone.
Yeah.
All the companies, and then Nintendo rags on you.
Right.
Nintendo's
I'm always
about this year. Oh wait.
Cry because I'm
8
always
years and
Nintendo
counting
trash.
for F-Zero. Never gonna happen.
F-Zero and Metroid need a new game. Dang it.
Are we gonna?
F-Zero more than Metroid.
Yeah, F-Zero more than Metroid.
You know what needs another new game?
I've waited 11 years.
Mario Party.
Shots fired.
And keep them.
You know what? Give me one that has classic Mario Party mode, and I'll be on it.
Yeah.
You'll never be friends again.
Let's all
be in the car again, and you will like it.
Okay, but guys, what if we get there and Nintendo, we're like, what if one day we go to E3, like, as Anime Secrets, and the year we go, they're like, by the way, guys, we are remaking Mario Party. Like, Mario Party 3. I just lose my shit.
3, 2.
3, 2, like, all the original Mario Parties were A+. Like, just put all of them together. Like, mix all the mini games. I wouldn't care. Like, it would still be the best game to me.
Mario Party 2 was literally Russian roulette with friendship.
That's what made it so good.
Yeah, that's why it was so good.
Exactly. Like, what if we get there and they're
testing
showing
your
off
friendship?
Mhm.
Are you really friends with one another? We'll see.
You see,
I need to take my star, boy.
y'all would all love y'all would all love me because I'm like that silent friend that just like tries to defeat the robot, like the NPC, where I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll just defeat the NPC, and then I win because everyone else is trying to screw each other over, and I'm just like, but I was just trying to defeat the NPC, guys. That's happened to me like so many times. I'm not even lying.
Their hate on you.
No one directs their hate on me until after the game, and they're just like, how you win? And I'm just like, because I'm trying to defeat the NPC, and I don't screw anyone over, so y'all are all nice to me.
To me, is I take a lead, and then I get the target on my back, and then chance time happens. And I'm like, how did I get paired up with the person who had no stars whatsoever?
God is real and he hates me.
God is real in Mario Party.
What did I do to upset this cruel god?
Your faith will be tested.
Why do I keep rolling ones?
How the fuck does Yoshi keep rolling tens? Like, who the fuck allowed this shit?
It's like that one character is just instant 10 every time. Except
it's
for the time you
Yoshi.
pick him.
It's always Yoshi.
And
I promise you, it's always Yoshi.
Oh, until you pick him.
So, yeah, there's like only really one game left that was showcased, and that was Lego Star Wars 7. I kind of wish that they weren't so serious with the trailer. I mean, there was some funny parts, but...
It was a really serious trailer.
It was for a Lego game.
I just need to put out one part of this trailer. When Kylo Ren opened this room and he had a bunch of Darth Vader posters.
Oh, I loved that.
I lost it.
I love that.
That's the kind of humor you expect out of Lego.
I know, and I really did appreciate that at the very last when he's like trying to summon the lightsaber to him, it whacks him in the face.
Yeah.
So that was great. But I mean, like overall, the tone that they were like setting for that trailer was just. Mm-hmm. I know that they were just mimicking like the original trailer, but it just was way too serious.
I mean, they did that with the Lego Avengers game too, where the trailer was more or less trying to replicate the atmosphere of the Age of Ultron trailers. But they had this one section where Tony and Bruce were dancing in taco costumes, and you're just like, what the freak?
Oh, that is awesome. I've actually honestly never played any of the Lego games, but I know that they're really goofy.
Marvel Superheroes is the best one. If you want to go with one, that's the one I'd recommend.
That's the one where the roster is like insane, isn't it? Like they have almost all their superheroes. Yeah.
Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, all the villains.
I like Lego Batman.
Lego Batman 3, I think, takes the cake for the most ridiculous roster. When you have Bat Dog, Super Dog,
it has
Bat Cow.
In it.
Bat Cow.
It's got Bat Cow in there. That's awesome.
That's a thing.
That is a thing. But, I mean, you compare this Lego Star Wars trailer to their Lego Dimension trailer that was released last week. Oh my goodness.
Lego Sonic. Lego Sonic.
Lego Sonic. Lego Goonies guy.
If I swear, if the Sonic spin dash is a brick, a blue brick.
Yeah, exactly.
At least a blue brick.
At least no one has announced yet Sonic Boom.
I mean,
no, there's a 3DS sequel that's been in development for about half a year now, and they just keep delaying it.
Good.
Yeah.
For good reason.
Good.
Let's just hope they just leave it to silently die off.
Can we save Knuckles, please?
Nah.
Petition to save Knuckles the Echidna.
Nipples the enchilada. Please save him.
What did he ever do to deserve this?
That's a good question.
That is a very good question.
I mean, granted, he's been a bit of an idiot since Heroes, so...
I mean, he keeps working for Eggman.
Well, I think, like, the Sonic Boom, they, like, went far deep into trope territory with that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Far deep.
I mean, you're talking to a huge Sonic fan here. The show, yeah, they really overtly characterized people, but I think that's what makes it so funny, because
Like, it's a children's show, though.
Yeah, it's meant to be stupid, and I kind of like it for that. It's not taking itself seriously. The games suck. Rise of Lyric is a disaster.
The show, I have seen some real funny bits on it. I know that they made fun of IKEA in one of the episodes.
I know. The Justin Bieber parody episode was the most beautiful thing I've ever watched on television within the last decade. You need to hunt that one down.
For me, it's when he goes to his happy place, but then goes too far.
Oh.
And it's just a person dressed up as Sonic going, whoops, too far.
Oh yeah, where it was Roger Craig Smith in a goddamn Sonic costume.
Yep.
Oh, that was beautiful. For all the wrong reasons. But yeah, this is Sony, obviously. We're talking about Sony stuff.
Yep.
Anyway, Sony overall was good. They spent too much time talking about VR for my liking. Yeah. That was about the only negative I can think of.
Yeah, well, they were like, here's a whole bunch of
VR is being a big deal, so...
Yeah, which is understandable why they have their VR thing launching in the fall. So they had to assure people that, yes, there is going to be games for it.
But they didn't show anything for them.
The quality.
Yeah, they did.
Well, I mean, like, a couple of them, like, the Arkham one, there wasn't any gameplay footage whatsoever for it. They didn't even explain what it's supposed to.
I mean, that's typical, but I mean, they do that for, like, the regular games as well. Like, they just don't show anything. But they did show, like, trailers for all the other VR, like before the Sony conference, it was the Eagle Flight. Which
that
actually
was
showed...
Ubisoft.
Yeah,
and then there's also, I believe, the Star Trek game that's in development for VR.
Star Trek?
Yeah, there's a Star Trek game being made
that Star
in
Trek
VR.
Game is amazing.
Oh, I missed that one. But there's the X-Wing one for Battlefront for the DLC. They showcased Resident Evil 7. There was a couple good games that they did showcase. The Batman one, yeah, like there was nothing shown, but that's because it didn't bother me just because that's typical of like teasers.
You know, I'm probably just salty because that was the only one that caught my eye, and that's the only one that didn't get any footage shown of it. So I'm a little bit. Well, what is it? Is it Arkham Asylum, City, Night, just virtual reality?
You'll find out.
You'll find out next time at the next E3. I feel like we should end it on this part.
Yeah.
Alright, can't get much higher than that.
We are Anime Secrets doing our press coverage of E3, the Sony press conference.
Big N.
What?
Big N tomorrow. Woo.
Yeah.
I hope
Won't be as much though. I mean,
I know, but I'm hoping. I'm keeping my hopes
up.
So
stay tuned. We'll be doing Nintendo tomorrow after the conference and uploading that as well. Our podcast will be on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and our website animesecrets.org. So subscribe, comment, like, share the videos, share the podcast, get the word out there. We're live. And thank you and good night, everyone.
And come support all of us too.
Yeah.
Yay!
Hey you! Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. You can also check out Anime Secrets on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook. Do you want more than that? I know you do. Then go to our website where you can see daily updates and articles and exclusive interviews.